Você já foi no cinema e de repente está passando Homem-Aranha 2, 4, 17, filmes da Marvel até não poder mais, e de repente só passa isso. Eu não tô falando mal porque eu vou confessar, eu adoro esses filmes, mas às vezes é meio monotemático e a gente quer ver uns outros tipos de filme, até filmes brasileiros que a gente adora. Isso acontece um pouco pela dinâmica de financiamento dos filmes e às vezes fica só faltando espaço para os filmes de autor. E um dos grandes diretores é o Darren Aronofsky, que recentemente esteve no Brasil. Ele é diretor de filmes como Requiem para um Sonho, Cisne Negro, O Lutador, e ele está lançando um filme novo chamado Mãe, ou Mother em inglês, e ele gravou uma entrevista exclusiva falando sobre o novo filme dele. Um filme que, na visão dele, fala sobre a mãe natureza. Eu enxerguei lá temas relacionados ao feminismo. Segue a entrevista. Ok, shall we start?
Please.
Okay. Cinemas here in Brazil are usually taken over by Spider-Man, Marvel, and suddenly you made a very personal author film. Usually these kind of films are made by Stanley Kubrick, Hitchcock, and now you make
well, thank you.
And managed to make into the Hollywood system. So how are you able to hack the system?
You know, I think if you make them for a good price in Hollywood standards and you get a good cast like Javier Bardem and Jennifer Lawrence and Michelle Pfeiffer and Ed Harris, that all comes to work, you know. And I think studios every once in a while want to take a chance and do something different. This film is very, very different. They saw that it would be very intense for audiences, and they were hoping that it would react, you know, that there would be a big reaction to it.
Feminists sometimes use a term called gaslighting. I don't know if you're aware.
Not too well.
It means usually when men manipulate information to have women believe that they are insane. So,
right, like the Hitchcock movie. Or there's a movie called Gaslight, I believe. That's where it comes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
On your movie, sometimes we feel like the husband is manipulating the information.
Yeah.
And we can sometimes, at least from my point of view, I don't know if it's wrong, feel that it's the man's oppression against women. Does your film is a take on feminism, or somehow shows the male oppression against women or something like that?
I mean, there's elements of that. Me personally, I'm a feminist, and so I imagine it comes out in the work. I was trying to tell a movie from the perspective of Mother Nature, and Mother Nature historically has been connected with a feminine spirit. And so the way we treat the earth is with a lot of disrespect. So I think that comes across in the movie, because when we personified Earth as Jennifer Lawrence, we tried to create the same character. So here was a character filled with love, filled with hope, filled with giving, who basically people were just constantly taking from her. And I think people can read into it in a lot of ways, but definitely the father in this, the creator, the Javier Bardem character, I don't know if he's necessarily manipulating her, but he's definitely keeps taking from her and is not really, I wouldn't say he's inconsiderate, but he's more considerate to what he needs.
Sometimes us men, we are sexist without being aware we didn't mean. And at the same time, your film is very personal, very author. Do you think that maybe it's a way for you to come with terms with your own sexism without realizing, since it's very personal?
Look, I don't think any of the characters in any of my films is exactly me. Yet they are me, in the sense that I'm not a ballerina, but I made a film about a ballerina. And I'm not a wrestler, but I was the wrestler for that movie. And I'm not a math whiz, but I was that in Pi. You take parts of yourself that are very real and truthful, and then you sort of stretch them into these characters. So I think because, you know, there's a male and female energy and it's such a strong thing, people push me towards the male energy. But for myself, I was completely empathizing, and as I hope the film is as well, with Jennifer Lawrence and her character, you know. But definitely the film isn't about condoning the male behavior in this film. It's definitely showing how dark it is to reveal the light. And I think that was the very important thing to show, is that we're not actually saying this is good, we're just saying this is what's going on.
Your films since the very first one, and I need to be careful because I pronounce pie, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Because sometimes in Portuguese I say P and
yeah, I know. In Europe they say P.
Yeah, sorry. Since the very first one, it's you kind of provoking the audience. Now looks like you really went very, very far. From what I saw last night, everybody went out of the theater feeling, wow, this guy push my limits.
Yeah.
This somehow reflects what we are living through, because it looks like Trump killed the hope out of the world in the end of Obama presidency and Brexit, and it feels like we are experiencing the end of the hope in the world. And
well, I have a lot of hope and a lot of optimism, and the reason I made this film was from a place of optimism, basically to say, hey, if we don't get our act together, Mother Nature might blow us up. And I also wrote it in the 8th year of Obama. It just coincidentally or tragically is coming out in the first year of Trump. But I think I was feeling all of these feelings even when we were underneath Obama. I felt like our relationship with our home was off balance, and it's been off balance for a very, very long time. The one good thing about what's going on now in America is at least we see the darkness. I think the darkness was all there, but it was hidden underneath the surface. But now it's coming out, and it's very, very clear the connection between fossil fuels and mining companies with our government, when it used to be kind of hidden. Once things are revealed and there's light on them, you can actually start to fix them.
We can see a very strong connection between your Jewish heritage and your work, also religion, generally speaking. And you mentioned now how somehow social network and technology brought to surface a lot of things that were underneath, maybe Charlottesville and this kind of thing. How do you think religion can be something used for good, and how do you see the rise of creationism and
for me, when I look at the stories in the Bible, I think there are stories that belong to everyone. They're part of the world's heritage. They belong to everyone equally, and as soon as people start fighting about them, that's when we get wars and stuff, and so that doesn't really interest me. What interests me as a storyteller is the power of those stories. They're some of our oldest stories ever. And out of those stories, you can pull connections to what's happening now in the 21st century.
One of the greatest Brazilian films, City of God, has an editor called Daniel Rezende.
I met him last night.
Yes, he made a film called Bingo, which was chosen by the Brazilian Academy to represent the Oscars. I just want to know if you have...
I haven't seen it yet. I talked to him about it last night, but I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's good to see you again. I'll see you in New York.
Espero que vocês tenham gostado. Eu recomendo muito os filmes dele. Para quem não assistiu, eu começaria assistindo o primeiro, que chama Pi. Assistiria Requiem para um Sonho. O filme mostra muito a catástrofe da guerra às drogas. O Mother é um filme polêmico. Tem gente que detesta, tem gente que ama. Eu gostei muito. Acho muito encantador quando os grandes estúdios como a Paramount se arriscam a financiar filmes diferentes, filmes autorais, filmes que fogem da lógica convencional. Assistam o filme, discutam, e é nóis. Tem outros episódios aqui do canal e do blog conectados aqui na tela, nos links. Por favor, se inscrevam, dê like, comentem, diz aí, gostaram do filme ou não gostaram. Estou embarcando agora para fazer o meu filme, que estou há 11 anos lutando. Espero que vocês gostem quando ficar pronto daqui a algum tempo, daqui a um ano, quem sabe 2. Beijos, é nóis, fui!